Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Again, Wagner Group is very naughty and recruits whatever they find, including all the time, actually, not including, all the time it seems. Criminals and bad dudes. Not bad ladies, just bad dudes. Somehow they're discriminating against the other sex. Because I haven't heard any Wagner member being a woman. But probably they don't like inclusion and diversity. That's why they're weak. Remember, diversity is our strength, right? Is that what it is? So, we have here an article from Ukrainska Pravda from November 29th, 2022. Wagner Group recruits convicts from Central African Republic to fight in Ukraine. The Wagner Group, a Russian private military company, PMC, owned by Russian businessman Yevgeny Prigozhin, is recruiting rebels from prisons in the Central African Republic, CAR, and is sending them, among others, to fight in Donbass, as was reported by two Central African Republic senior military officials to the Daily Beast. You see, it's very interesting that these guys, this is the way you do it. You try to destroy the authority or the character of a person, by attaching that person with some kind of behavior or, associating that person with a certain kind of people. In this case, when you hear about Wagner Group is a mercenary group. Wagner Group here is just a private, but that's how they refer to the Wagner Group here. But they are recruiting only criminals. Why? Because only criminals would go and fight for these criminals, these terrorists. This is the idea. And if you would, let's say, hear about Blackwater, private military company, right, from the United States that changed its name, but not its tracks. Probably they're all, I don't know, first people in class or something, the first in class. Anyway, sources in Central African Republic were armed. The rebels control a significant part of country for the last 10 years, say that dozens of men who have been convicted for such crimes as rape and homicide are being recruited from prisons by the local branch of Wagner Group. So only these desperate people, criminals, will go and be recruited by Wagner. Not normal, Africans that, have a family and have a job and all that. Those will just join the US Army and French Foreign Legion and, British Special Forces, where, outstanding people will join, not criminals. Like criminals with criminal minds, they go only fight for the Russians. For us, only good people, because we're good and they're bad. This is such a shallow propaganda, but you know what? It works. Why? Because it focuses, right? It bombards a certain kind of segment in our society. That's all you need. You don't need a majority. You don't need a consensus in a society. You need a certain group that really believes in you. Remember how the revolution started. Revolutions did not start like, hey, I feel like I go right now and start protesting. And when I walk outside, I see everybody coming. Like, oh my God, it's a spontaneous protest. It's not like that. There's a group, very fanatical, if you want, very focused, very determined, that gets together. Could start from 3, 2, 1, 5, 6. They get in a room many times. They talk, they write down, they plan, and they act. But always the nucleus, the origin, the foundation, is just a few guys. Yes, a few guys. It's just a few guys. It's not 3,000 people. No, it's 10, 7. And from there, they influence others and others through various methods. That's how it goes. You don't have a spontaneous, oh, we all go outside. So anyway, let's move on and see what's going on here. These squads include hundreds of fighters who are widely known as Black Russians. According to the officers, many of the recruits are rebels who are considered terrorists by the military for their violent and intimidating treatment of the local population to achieve political objectives. Only those guys, only those guys. And I'm quoting, since October, they, the Wagner Group, are freeing the rebels. Nobody can stop them because of the power given to them by the government to do whatever they wish, stated the source. Alright, so it says here that they, the Wagner Group, said that there is an urgent need for a workforce in Mali and Ukraine. I think that more than 20 people detained here for serious crimes were freed, said an officer working with the CAR army. Background: on 4th of July, Important Stories, an independent Russian investigative journalist website, reported that the Wagner Group has started to recruit convicts from prisons in St. Petersburg to join their ranks in the war with Ukraine. On July 20th, the website wrote that the Wagner Group is recruiting convicts in half a dozen Russian prisons. Later, new information was published which reported that most of the convicts recruited by the Wagner Group from the two Russian prisons to fight in Ukraine have been killed. Sometimes, you know that people lie when they give you too much detail, and you think, how possibly can you have that detail? So they are very detailed in certain kind of instances, but in others they're vague. They don't know. So more than half of them died. Okay, maybe they did. So it's very strange that not very strange actually. It's just pathetic when you have these guys coming with this kind of news. I'm pretty sure that there are people who committed crimes and what not, and were recruited from the prisons. So here they tried, in America, they tried to make those people vote, give them back the right to vote. So what's your problem? And that's the Democrats, by the way. So and besides is like this. I think people can change, not their, how should I put it, within, but they can change behavior, therefore change how they are perceived. So why do I say that? Is because sometimes you see a criminal, right? A person commits a crime, he becomes a criminal by definition, that's the term you use for a person, all right? And then serves, whatever, it goes in prison, and then he comes out and he never commits a crime again. I don't know if it's caught because he was not caught or because he never commits. But some of them, they don't. So what does it tell you? Unless you see a pattern, you see a convicted criminal that, comes and goes all the time, then yeah, that guy is what it is. But if you did it one time, that matters a lot. Because let's be honest, and I'm not trying to defend these guys whatsoever. I'm just trying to give an alternate interpretation of these guys' propaganda and bullshit. Okay? I mean, how many mistakes you made, and how often the same mistake? What would that make you? I mean, we all make mistakes, and sometimes it's harder to learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we don't want to learn from our mistakes. We can't break the cycle of the mistakes we make, and that is, for instance, drug addiction or other kind of addictions. You know it's wrong, but you do it. You drink alcohol, you take drugs, you whatever might be. We know, but we still stay in that circle. Others are just doing it one time, and it hurts that much. They for whatever reason, being afraid, being how should I put it, embarrassed, they don't do it again. They have the capability, and some people do it one time, do it second time, third time, and need more time to learn. So I don't know. If you're a criminal, again, I'm not defending criminals, but it's criminals and criminals. Certain things happen, and again, it's the age. It's one behavior that you have at 17, let's say, 18, and the other one is that you have at 30, and another one that you have at 50 or 40 or something like that. You learn certain things. You have different kind of a different worldview. So yeah, if you committed, I don't know, you raped someone at 18, maybe you think some a little bit different when you're like 40 or 35 or something like that. You know, the best one of a good analogy or example would be people who get involved with in underage sex. You know, let's say you got a 17-year-old getting involved with sexually with a 13-year-old. Now that's a crime. 17, 13, that's bad, right? But you're 17. You know what I mean? You don't really see the, let's say 16 to 12, 13 or something. You don't really see the consequences and the gravity of your actions. And if you do, you're not capable of restraining yourself. And then you get in trouble. And you're gonna be hurt by that little record that you're gonna have. But you would not be so easy and fast if you, let's say, it would be like 38 and the opportunity to commit such a crime arises, you're going to be a little bit looking at it differently, right? I think, and it's not only I think, I know that studies back me up on that one. It's obvious, right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.